This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 2nd day of February in the year 2026. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. Opening the 2026 budget debates, Member of Parliament for the Win Party, Dr. Andre Lewis, questioned the government's 2025 goal declarations, saying that his party suspects that the numbers were inflated to show that the sector is doing well, when it is not. Last Monday, the Finance Minister, Dr. Ashley Singh, during the budget presentation, reported that the gold mining industry expanded by 11.6%. But the Win Member of Parliament today said a significant portion of Guyana's gold is being smuggled by persons and companies that he believes are close to the government.
These miners are the lifeblood of our interior, yet they're being undermined by illegal leakages.
Yes!
Mr. Speaker, Zizing Mining Group is another Chinese-owned and operated company which continues to benefit from Guyana's wealth. As the underpaid Guyanese who are subject to work under these companies and terrible conditions while causing excessive land damage, deforestation, pollution.
Dr. Lewis said the country's current issue with foreign exchange is testament that the gold sector has not been doing well, saying that the government has allowed miners close to them to do as they wish and has employed damage control measures.
We are aware that it's a common practice by the government of the day to inflate numbers. In fact, Mr. Speaker, we hear of reports from miners and dealers that they are being asked to inflate their declarations, so this raises questions on whether the 2025 gold declarations are actually accurate.
The opposition MP said if indeed 484,000 ounces of gold was declared last year, then the country's small and medium-scale miners have declared more than 75% of that gold, while large-scale foreign companies only declared a fraction of that.
Mr. Speaker, if this gold is secure and the revenue is properly managed, we would see a drastic reduction in the cost of living of Guyanese. This would provide immense relief from all Guyanese.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we call for immediate and enhanced border protection. Mr. Speaker, the government must take the necessary preventative measures to protect our borders and to protect our indigenous communities. Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow our gold to build other nations and individuals while people suffer right here in Guyana.
The Member of Parliament also called on the government to find ways to stabilize the foreign currency market. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. It can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Celebrate with us at Courts. We have what you need at the biggest season sale. Save with great deals and huge savings on select items store-wide. Get unbeatable values on TVs, new arrivals in furniture. Save on select bedroom sets, large appliances, free gifts, and much more. Shop now, pay later. Get huge savings this season. Only at Courts. Bringing value home. Offers end February 28th, 2026. Conditions apply.
Gospel Fest Guyana 2026. Abnormal Praise. Keeping it loud. Match Night. National Exhibition Center. 6:30 p.m. Join us for an unforgettable night of praise and worship. Featuring Prince Sarge.
How we are men that know us. Christian in the place. Holy Spirit light the fire make it blaze.
DJ Nicholas.
Cut it off. Anything I try distract you for cut it off.
Samuel Midas.
Excited to call your name. I can't be the only one who's a Christian and unashamed.
Sean Daniel.
Question: who started the waving thing? Who started the waving thing?
Faith Korika, Solid You, and several other outstanding ministers. This is the event you can't miss. Bring something to wave. Tickets available now. Check social media for all ticket outlets. Gospel Fest 2026. Mash Night. National Exhibition Center. Keeping it loud.
Let's tell you now that APNU Member of Parliament Vinceroy Jordan reeled into the government today over what he described as a lack of measures in this year's budget to lift Guyanese out of poverty and improve their living conditions. Presenting a copy of the APNU's 2025 election manifesto, MP Jordan said while the Irfan Ali administration may have hijacked the coalition's campaign theme of putting people first, the budget exposes that the government lacks care and consideration for the working class.
Mr. Speaker, this budget will keep Guyanese in poverty instead of transforming the lives and livelihood of our people. It allocates resources in a way that will not take people out of poverty.
Jordan reminded the House that the Inter-American Development Bank in its report said 58% of Guyanese are still living in poverty, while 32% are living in abject poverty. Emphasizing that poverty in Guyana is real, the opposition MP challenged his colleagues on the other side of the House to visit communities like Sophia, Port Morant and Beirut to see Guyanese living in abject poverty.
The Honorable Ashley Singh comes to this House to tell us about putting the people first. With $5,000 increase in pension for our senior citizens cannot be putting the people first, Mr. Speaker. With $3,000 increase in public assistance, it cannot be putting the people first, Mr. Speaker. No wage increases for public servants, it cannot be putting the people first, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we propose a national school transportation system so that it will help ease the burden on our parents, our single parents and mothers across Guyana. That is not included in this budget, Mr. Speaker. How can you say that you're putting the people first? Mr. Speaker, no measure is clearly outlined in this budget to reduce poverty. How can we say we're putting the people first? Mr. Speaker, no direct measures to reduce the high cost of living. We propose, Mr. Speaker, a 35% increase for public servants. They could have at least given a 25%, Mr. Speaker, which was adequate enough at this time to take our people out of poverty and to signal an interest in giving Guyanese a livable income. This budget fails to deliver.
And focusing on the agriculture sector, MP Jordan said of the $113.2 billion set aside for the sector, $81.9 billion will go towards infrastructural works, in particular in the areas of drainage and irrigation. He argued that at least 40% of the funds will be wasted as a result of poor designs and placements. He said while the government said it is working to increase food production and achieve food security, it has only allocated $1.9 billion for the livestock sector and $3.3 billion for other crops.
Were this government serious about bringing down cost of living, every region would have had a sound developmental plan on sustainable agriculture that would have increased food production and contribute to the reduction of the price of food, ensuring food availability and security. Mr. Speaker, on this score, this budget received a fail grade. Mr. Speaker, what happened to our cash crop farmers? Mr. Speaker, what happened to those in fruits and vegetable production? What happens to those in echalot and various seasoning production? What happened to our small farmers into dairy and meat production, sir? What happened to those who are into poultry, ducks and broilers?
Jordan said to compound the situation, the government allocated just $200 million to finance the fisheries sector, while it continues to inject billions into the sugar industry.
Speaker, I want to point out that this government is complicit in the mismanagement, incompetence, and underperformance of GECOM. And I tell you why, Mr. Speaker. They are hell-bent on continuing to use GECOM as a political pawn to only get votes from a certain section of the sugar belt. Mr. Speaker, they have no proper plan for GECOM. Sir, while billions are wasted each year, targets are missed. Targets are revised and revised targets are missed, and growth is measured on an already failed performance. We in the APNU coalition concluded that money is not the problem, sir, but rather it is this government and its unwillingness to embrace the change and produce a proper plan for the sugar industry.
The opposition MP further stated that sugar is being produced by GECOM at an average cost of $1.31 per pound, while it is being sold at just 0.17 US cents per pound, a total loss of $1.14 US cents on every pound of sugar sold. He said the APNU has long argued that the sugar industry must be right-sized and diversified. Pushing back against criticism from the opposition, Minister of Public Works Bishop Juan Edghill today said the $1.558 trillion budget, through its measures, policies and programs, will bring real benefits to the Guyanese people. Addressing the National Assembly today, Minister Edghill said the budget intentionally directs resources to the working class, from farmers and small business owners to public servants.
Budget 2026, Honorable Member, increases access to world-class healthcare facilities. Budget 2026 improves access to education from nursery to university. It enhances social services. I'll tell you how it's helping just now. We'll go to the numbers. And invests in physical and digital infrastructure that links rural and coastal communities.
And describing the budget as well-crafted, people-oriented, and development-focused, Minister Edghill told the House that it will continue to fuel the country's transformation to the benefit of all, regardless of race or social status.
Education, $183 billion, putting people first. Health, $161 billion, putting people first. Water, $21.6 billion, putting people first. Sanitation and waste management, $7.9 billion, putting people first. Children, women, and the elderly, $78.3 billion, putting people first. Amerindian development, $7.5 billion, putting people first. Agriculture and food security, $113.2 billion, putting people first. Transformational infrastructure, $119.4 billion, putting people first.
The Works Minister said the budget also includes funding for newborn babies, pensioners, school-aged children, those in public assistance, and public servants. His ministry, the Ministry of Public Works, has been allocated $227 billion, with a capital expenditure of $212 billion, approximately 27% of the total capital budget. He said while there are complaints that the budget is heavy on infrastructure, it is important to connect the dots.
Ask all the people of Region 3
who travel to Georgetown to work on a daily basis, how $260 million on the new Barajagio Demerara River Bridge has transformed their lives. Ask the people of Diamond and those who will go further up how the new Heroes Highway has transformed their lives and how they could get to work and back home and get their children to school early. Ask the people who use the Ogle-Eccles interlink that is now moving on to Providence with a direct link to the Barajagio Demerara River Bridge, how investment in infrastructure is making a difference in their lives.
The Public Works Minister assured that there are benefits in infrastructure development. On the second day of a 3-day state visit to Belize, President Irfan Ali today called for greater cooperation among small states, especially in the areas of security, to stem illegal activities and transnational crime. Addressing a joint sitting of the Parliament of Belize this afternoon, President Ali said while there are concerns among small states about safeguarding their autonomy, those small states must also realize the importance of cooperation, where interests align. He said partnership and autonomy, when pursued, could be mutually beneficial.
This is especially true in the area of security. Cooperation is essential to protecting our societies and economies from transnational criminal networks engaged in the trafficking of weapons, people, and illicit goods.
Several CARICOM countries in recent months have been locked in disagreements on how transnational crime in the region could be addressed. But for President Ali, more cooperation among regional and international stakeholders is the best formula to stem transnational crime in the region. He said geographical places like Guyana and Belize find themselves along routes that are exploited by criminal networks and create challenges that no single state could address alone.
These threats do not respect borders. They therefore require coordinated responses. Transnational problems demand transnational solutions. It is imperative that small states actively pursue cooperation with regional and international partners who share a common interest in preventing, disrupting, and dismantling organized criminal activity.
Such cooperation, the President said, strengthens national capacity and enhances collective scrutiny and security. He said sovereignty is not diminished by cooperation, but it is weakened by isolation and vulnerability.
Through partnership grounded in mutual respect, small states are better able to protect their people, their institutions, and their future.
Additionally, the President told the Assembly in Belize that another pillar to ensure the strength of small states lies in democracy and open economy. He further urged a greater push for Caribbean unity, stating that many of the challenges that face the region could only be addressed through unity. Well, the 3 opposition-nominated elections commissioners have agreed to meet with the leader of the opposition under the condition that their removal will not be up for discussion. The opposition leader Azruddin Mohammed had hoped to meet with the 3 opposition-nominated elections commissioners, Vincent Alexander, Charles Corbin, and Desmond Trotman, on Sunday. However, the commissioners declined the invitation to meet at the Wind Party headquarters, suggesting that they prefer to meet at a neutral venue. In a letter dated Saturday, the 31st of January, the 3 commissioners said that there was no basis for a meeting to discuss their status as commissioners on the Guyana Elections Commission. The Wind Party, which is the main opposition party in the National Assembly, has repeatedly underscored the need for the 3 commissioners who were nominated by the PNC Reform and later the APNU to be replaced by commissioners nominated by the Wind Party. But the commissioners are contending that there is no legal basis for their removal. They said as current commissioners of GECOM, they are cognizant of Wind's public pronouncements about their status, and the party's call for their resignation, in addition to some disparaging remarks. The commissioners said in those circumstances, they do not accept that there is any basis for a meeting to discuss their status as commissioners. However, Alexander Corbin and Trotman said they are disposed to meeting with Mohammed in his capacity as leader of the opposition to discuss matters pertaining to the Elections Commission, but not their status on the commission. The leader of the opposition had extended the invitation to the election commissioners on Friday, one day after he met with the chairman of the Elections Commission, Claudette Singh. During that meeting, the elections chairman admitted that she has no power to remove the 3 GECOM commissioners. At least one of the current opposition-nominated commissioners has stated that if they are being called upon to resign, then the chairman should also resign, because the same process that allowed for their nomination to the position allowed for her nomination.
Get ready to step into the multiverse. It all goes down February 20th. Brought to you by Mixmaster Tony and powered by GTC. Featuring an international lineup. Added Rankin from St. Vincent, Barry Hype out of St. Lucia, Brandon Duke from Toronto, the Spaniard from Antigua, DJ Optimus from Trinidad, and a major home team representing Guyana. General admission is absolutely free, and for the ultimate experience, the all-inclusive VIP elevated area is just $150. Table packages, VIP bands, and merch are available now at the Port Salts event app. Just search the multiverse or message 620-4336. This is the multiverse. Same timeline, elevated experience.
I am a backpack and I'm ready. Rum in my backpack and I'm ready.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Washi. Hi people. Washing made so easy since I found Washi. Washing me use wash me clothes and I can say Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder leave me clothes smelling nice, of course. So give thanks to Washi soap powder for doing my laundry right. Keep my clothes color bright. Have my clothes smelling nice for sure. I could not ask for more. Comes in lemon and original. It is a washing machine in a pack. Washi soap powder wash clothes so nice. Washi soap powder leave your clothes color bright. Washi soap powder have my clothes smelling nice, of course.
Distributors located in the Stabrook Market.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Well, the Guyana Press Association and a number of journalists here in Guyana are calling on the Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzo Nadir, to immediately lift his restrictions on media access to provide coverage of Parliament. Members of the media turning up at the Arthur Chung Conference Center for the start of the budget debate today were informed that only 5 journalists will be allowed access into the National Assembly, and they must first lodge their national ID cards or driver's license before that access is granted. Members of the media were also informed that only the cameras of the Department of Public Information, which has been reportedly contracted by the Parliament, will be allowed video recording access in the National Assembly. In response, the Guyana Press Association condemned the actions of the Speaker as an attack on press freedom. The Press Association said the Speaker's decision to only allow access to the National Assembly to 5 journalists represents a significant reduction from previous years, when up to 17 reporters were accommodated within Parliament buildings to cover sessions. The association said it is difficult to comprehend why fewer reporters are now being permitted in a much larger space. Additionally, the GPA noted that the absence of a direct feed from the cameras inside the assembly is unacceptable. Media houses were told that they will be provided with a link from the Department of Public Information, but there exists no such link, and the media is being made to wait on the social media live streaming to end to be able to access the video recordings. The Press Association reminded the National Assembly that the role of the press is to ensure transparency, accountability, and accurate reporting of parliamentary business. It said restricting access and failing to provide proper technical facilities undermines the public's right to be informed. A number of senior journalists have condemned the position of the Speaker and have also called for his restrictions on press access to the Assembly to be lifted. The Speaker, at the start of today's sitting, commented on the issue and sought to defend his decision by referencing an agreement that was made on media coverage 6 years ago during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I want to make it pellucid. And if I could be redundant, in the words of a famous president, pellucidly clear, clearly clear, that we have actually expanded from 5 to 7 members of the private media, because most of them are using their phones to do the recording. So our PR department reached out and said that 2 persons with the cameras could be replaced with 2 additional reporters who will be allowed to use their phones as they have been doing to record. So it is being made out that this expansion of access to the National Assembly is a restriction.
Nadir said while the restrictions are still in place, several state media workers are also being prevented from covering the Parliament from inside, adding that Parliament has contracted an audiovisual company to stream the sitting, where it could be viewed by journalists. That contracted audiovisual company is the publicly funded Department of Public Information.
Reinforcing that we pride ourselves on access, and we will continue to provide access to the proceedings of the National Assembly.
Ahead of the presentation of the national budget last week, the president of the Guyana Press Association raised her initial concerns about the issue with the Speaker, but he did not budge from his position to keep the restrictions in place. Banks DIH Limited has announced that it will appeal the decision of the High Court to grant an injunction barring the company from implementing a 15% cap on shareholder voting power. At the company's annual general meeting on Saturday at Thirst Park, the company planned to amend its bylaws to cap shares purchased at 15%. However, last Friday, High Court Judge Sandal Kisun granted an injunction barring Banks DIH from voting on the motion to amend. Chairman and Managing Director of Banks DIH, Clifford Reese, in his address to shareholders on Saturday, said the company will appeal the ruling by Justice Kisun.
One of the applicants, the Bihari Stock Broker Limited, is not a shareholder of this company. At the close of the registrar for this annual general meeting today, the vote on the bylaw number 8 cannot proceed this afternoon, fellow shareholders, because Justice Kisun has restrained us from doing so. As a law-abiding and a responsible corporate citizen, we will comply with the judge's order. However, the company proposes to appeal this matter to the full court for the discharge of this injunction.
Guyana America's Merchant Bank Incorporated and Bihari Stockbrokers Limited filed the action against Banks DIH. But the Banks DIH chairman was keen to point out that the Bihari company is not a shareholder of banks. Rees said Banks DIH, which has become a trusted household name in the country, must remain a company owned by regular citizens, teachers, doctors, nurses, farmers, and vendors, and not owned by big companies.
And so we ask this question today. What does it say about a company when thousands of people across generations see it as a part of their story? It says trust. It says belonging. It says shared destiny. It says do not sell your shares. This is why Banks DIS Limited is often described as a family company, because it truly is.
The bank's chairman said when he was appointed chairman of the company back in 1989, there were 7,100 shareholders. Today, that number has increased to 15,558, and the company is looking to increase it further to 20,000 shareholders.
The chairman of this company in 1989, we had 7,100 shareholders. Today we have 15,558 shareholders in this company, an increase of 8,455 or 119% more. The target now for us is 20,000. We want to see 20,000 shareholders in this company. Drivers, civil servants, farmers, teachers, plant operators. We want to see 20,000 small shareholders own this company. And that is the legacy we want to follow with PTDR.
In a paid advertisement, a group of concerned shareholders said at a time when dividends have not been fully paid and in the absence of a third interim dividend for 2025, the board of directors is looking to limit shareholders' influence. But in an attempt to set the record straight, the chairman pointed out that a dividend payment of 65 cents per share was paid to the shareholders on the 15th of May last year. A second dividend payment was paid in October, and the third dividend payment will be paid for January 2026.
Dividend paid to our shareholders during this year was $3 per share unit, and this resulted in overall costs to the company of $2.55 billion as compared to $2.210 billion in the previous year. And that's an increase of $340 million or 15.4%. My fellow shareholders, we made that commitment that we will pay a minimum of 25% of the net profit in dividend payments. That target was achieved with a total of $2.55 billion or 25.9% of the net profit of the company of $9.8 billion.
Noting that it is the company's intention to increase the percentage to 30%, Rees said Banks DIH for the last 20 years has paid 3 dividends per year, and it will continue to do so. He said notwithstanding the payment of those dividends, the company's expansion programs were funded from internal cash flow without the need to borrow funds or issue any additional shares. Banks DIH recorded profit after tax of $9.8 billion for the year 2025. The Tourism and Hospitality Association of Guyana last Thursday officially relaunched the Tourism Development Fund, which is a voluntary industry-led initiative that allows visitors to make a small optional contribution during their stay or experience. Funds collected are pooled and reinvested into initiatives that support product development, marketing, and capacity building, and helping to strengthen and grow Guyana's tourism sector in a transparent and collective manner. The fund was first launched back in 2015 as a mechanism to support sector-wide development. Between its initial launch and 2020, the fund supported initiatives including bird trail signage at the botanical gardens, server training, early digital initiatives, and COVID-19 relief for members. The fund will be financed through a nominal voluntary fee or contribution by hotel guests to boost marketing, training, beautification grants, and further ICT adoption and expansion, while it also aims at the preservation of heritage sites. The Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit has issued a warning over the online advertising and sale of small cartoon-themed Ziploc packaging that is associated with the sale and distribution of marijuana and synthetic drugs. In the statement, CANU said the packaging is widely recognized by law enforcement as drug paraphernalia used in street-level drug distribution. The unit noted that the sale, possession, or use of such packaging in connection with narcotics is an offense under the laws of Guyana and may attract criminal liability. Additionally, CANU stated that the use of cartoon, candy, or child-appealing designs is particularly concerning, as it increases the risk of exposure and harm to children and young persons. CANU is reminding vendors and members of the public that online platforms are actively monitored, and intelligence-led operations include digital marketplaces and social media sales activity. The Drug Enforcement Agency said persons are strongly advised to cease the sale, purchase, or distribution of the items where they are intended for illegal use. CANU said it remains committed to protecting communities and disrupting drug distribution networks and preventing narcotics from reaching homes, schools, and the vulnerable populations.
Ready to position your brand at the heart of the region's most influential energy event? The Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo invites you to become a sponsor and connect directly with leaders shaping the future of energy and industry. Choose from 4 powerful tiers: Platinum, Diamond, Gold, and Silver. As a sponsor, your brand takes center stage, from live press conferences and magazine features to exclusive speaking opportunities and top-tier visibility across every major platform. Enjoy premium exhibition booths, media coverage, and access to hundreds of industry professionals and decision makers. Whether you want to lead discussions, host networking events, or elevate your brand presence, sponsorship puts your company at the forefront of opportunity and innovation.
First-time homeowner, ready to build a dream house but worried about getting your plans approved? The Single Window Planning Approval System makes it easy. One application, one online platform, faster, simpler house plan approval. Visit our website to kickstart the process at singlewindow.chpa.gov.gy. No running around, no confusion, just clear steps and efficient service, all in one place. Apply, track, and get approved with confidence. The Single Window System, helping first-time homeowners move from planning to building the smart way. Single Window Planning Approval System, designed for transparency, built for convenience.
Your business is built on hard work, vision, and the drive to succeed. At GBTI, we understand what it takes to grow. That's why we offer Grow, a small business service designed to help your business expand, adapt, and reach its full potential. From new opportunities to new milestones, we're here to support you every step of the way. Grow from GBTI. Progress starts here.
Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Guava, pineapple, that give me a vibe. We no want nothing less compared to the rest. Fruitopia the best. Quench any thirst when it comes to the test. Perfect thing for my lunch. Flavors pack a punch. Fruitopia, Fruitopia, it's a drink that's hype. The citrus punch, fruit punch tastes nice. Fruitopia, the drink that rocks your lunchtime.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Oil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Oil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Pope Leo said Sunday he was deeply concerned about rising tensions between the United States and Cuba, and he called for sincere and effective dialogue to prevent violence and for the suffering for the Cuban people, according to Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump said last week tariffs would be imposed on imports from countries that supply Cuba with oil, increasing pressure on Washington's longtime foe after capturing Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, a key Cuban ally, in early January. Trump said the tariff threat was necessary to protect U.S. national security and foreign policy from the Cuban regime's malign actions and policies. Pope Leo said he had received reports with great concern of rising tensions between Cuba and the United States. He joined Cuban bishops in urging those responsible to promote sincere and effective dialogue to avoid violence and for the suffering for the Cuban people. 117 detainees held under preventive detention orders, PDOs, were released from the Eastern Correctional and Rehabilitation Center in Santa Rosa, Trinidad and Tobago, between Friday and Sunday, hours before the state of emergency expired at midnight. According to Trinidad Express, Sunday, 8 to 5 detainees were released, with 32 walking free on Friday, police confirmed. As the SOE expires, Regional Security Consultant Dr. Garvin Hira is agreeing with the police commissioner that intelligence-led policing played a role in lowering the murder toll in the country. Earlier this month, the police commissioner credited intelligence-led policing and sustained operational work by officers rather than the SOE for the reduction in murders and serious crime in 2025. According to police figures, 2025 ended with 369 murders, the lowest total recorded in more than a decade, and a 42% drop from the 626 murders reported the year before. And finally tonight, international news. Palestinians have started to enter the Rafah border crossing between the Gaza Strip and Egypt after it reopened for the movement of people. The crossing has largely been closed since May 2024, when the Gazan side was captured by Israeli forces. The reopening was supposed to happen during the first phase of U.S. President Donald Trump's ceasefire plan between Israel and Hamas, which began in October. But Israel blocked it until the return of the body of the last Israeli hostage in Gaza, which happened last week. It will come as a relief to many Palestinians who see it as a lifeline to the world, although there is frustration that only small numbers of people and no goods will be allowed through. Around 20,000 sick and wounded Palestinians are waiting to leave Gaza for treatment, according to local hospitals and the World Health Organization. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.